Good morning, third graders. So yesterday we started reading this book, Lon Po Po, which is, like you all figured out, a Red Riding Hood story from China. And we talked about the setting of the story yesterday. So remember, the setting tells us when, like what time period, a long time ago, today, yesterday, last week, what time of day, and where, like in what country, what kind of neighborhood, a city or the countryside, where the story takes place. Once again, the setting tells you when and where the story takes place. And we determined that this story is taking place in China, in the country, not the city. Their house is remote, so it's far away from lots of other houses. And it happens at dusk, or almost nighttime. Today, we're going to start thinking about the characters in the story. Now, we've already done a lot of work on character studies, so this should be pretty easy. But let me just remind you, the characters in a story are who the story happens to. They could be people, they could be animal. Some stories even have characters that are like things. They're just things that kind of magically came to life. This story mostly has people, but there's one character that's not a person. So let's read and see if we can figure out all of the characters. Lon Po Po, a Red Riding Hood story from China. I'm going to start reading from the beginning of the book again, just to remind you what happened yesterday. Once, long ago, there was a woman who lived alone in the country with her 3 children, Shang, Tao, and Baozi. On the day of their grandmother's birthday, the good mother set off to see her, leaving the 3 children at home. Before she left, she said, "Be good while I am away, my heart-loving children. I will not return tonight. Remember to close the door tight at sunset and latch it well." Oh, let me show you the picture. I love the illustrations in this book. I think they're very beautiful. But an old wolf lived nearby and saw the good mother leave. At dusk, disguised as an old woman, he came up to the house of the children and knocked on the door twice. Bang, bang! Shang, who was the eldest, said through the latched door, "Who is it?" "My little jewels," said the wolf. "This is your grandmother, your Po Po." "Po Po?" Shang said. "Our mother has gone to visit you." The wolf looks pretty creepy there, all disguised. The wolf acted surprised. "To visit me? I have not met her along the way. She must have taken a different route." "Po Po," Shang said, "how is it that you come so late?" The wolf answered, "The journey is long, my children, and the day is short." There they are, talking to the wolf. Shang listened through the door. "Po Po," she said, "why is your voice so low?" "Your grandmother has caught a cold, good children, and it is dark and windy out here. Quickly open up and let your Po Po come in," the cunning wolf said. Tao and Baozi could not wait. One unlatched the door and the other opened it. They shouted, "Po Po, Po Po, come in!" At the moment he entered the door, the wolf blew out the candle. "Po Po," Shang asked, "why did you blow out the candle? The room is now dark." The wolf did not answer. Tao and Baozi rushed to their Po Po and wished to be hugged. The old wolf held Tao. "Good child, you are so plump." That means he's got lots of fat on his body to pinch. He embraced Baozi. "Good child, you have grown to be so sweet." Soon, the old wolf pretended to be sleepy. He yawned. "All the chicks are in the coop," he said. "Po Po is sleepy too." When he climbed into the big bed, Baozi climbed in at one end with the wolf, and Shang and Tao climbed in at the other. But when Shang stretched, she touched the wolf's tail. Popo, Popo, your foot has a bush on it. There you can see them in bed with the wolf. You can even see the wolf's tail poking out from underneath the blankets. Popo has brought hemp strings to weave you a basket, the wolf said. Shang touched grandmother's sharp claws. Popo, Popo, your hand has thorns on it. Popo has brought an awl to make shoes for you, the wolf says. At once, Shang lit the light, and the wolf blew it out again. But Shang had seen the wolf's hairy face. And that is where we are going to stop for today. Let's think real quick about the characters that we have in the book. Well, at the very beginning of the book, on the first page, I remembered the mother was a character. So I'm going to go ahead and write her down on a Post-it. We don't know her name, so I'm just going to call her Mother. And I'll put her up on my character section of my story elements chart. Now, we've got the 3 kids, right? Do you remember their names? Shang, Tao, and Paotse. I'm going to write down their names. Shang. I know how to spell them because I've read this book so many times. There's Shang, and here's Tao. And we've got Paotse. I think Paotse is the littlest one. All right, but there's one more character that we haven't written down yet, and it's not a person. Do you remember the other character in the book? That's the wolf. So I'm going to write the wolf. We could say that grandmother is a character, but their actual grandma hasn't been in the story. Only the wolf pretending to be a grandma, so I don't think that I'm going to write her down. All right, that's it for our story today. You're going to have to wait until tomorrow to see how these kids manage to deal with the wolf. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the problem, and then finally on Thursday, we'll think about the solution to the problem. All right, that's it for today. See you later.